Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, body. This is my 5th year serving in the legislature, and I'm very thankful to my constituents for allowing me to represent them in this body. These 5 years have taught me that this body moves in cycles. That is why I'm confident in saying there will be 3 decisions this body will face in the next biennium, none of which are attractive. Number 1, we will reamortize CAPERS because that is the path of least resistance compared to the other 2 options that we will face. That will give us about $150 million, and it'll also increase our unfunded liability by about $7 billion. The final choices come down to cutting spending or increasing taxes. My first 5 years have taught me that we never cut spending. So this begs the question here and now: what tax increase are you going to vote for in order to pay for this spending? The reamortization of CAPERS will only get us so far. We will need to consider a second option. It is not if we should pay for this spending, it's when we will pay for this spending. That bill will come due in 2021, and I, for one, can tell you that I will be voting no to raise our taxes yet again on the Kansas taxpayer because we've been doing it so often in these recent years. We have already told Kansans that our priority is K-12 education, and that we've proven that by making it 50% of our budget. 50%, that's half of everything we spend in this body. So every 50 cents of every dollar we spend goes into K-12 education. This litigation will not end with this vote. I remember how confident the legislature was in 2017 when they passed the massive education bill then, only to be slapped down by the appropriators from across the street just a few months later. SB 142 is not tied to anything. It is more money thrown at the problem and does nothing to target the funds at the bottom 25% of students. At least the Schools for Fair funding dollar figure is tied to the court decision. At least the Kids First plan was tied to the Supreme Court decision. What is this tied to? Nothing. The plaintiffs have already said that this is not enough money. This bill solves nothing. It does nothing to end the litigation. This bill does nothing to get the courts out of the business of appropriating funds. We as legislators are elected by the people to represent them. If we fail in this task, they will seek new representation that fulfills their dreams for Kansas. I will be voting no on Senate Bill 142 because I believe there are more affordable plans we could have sought that allow the state to continue to pay its bills while also trying to better fund mental health, highways, corrections, and more. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.